And now our teacher of the year.
I'd like to invite Karen Organ-Lohr to join me, please. It is my honor to present Mrs. Karen Organ-Lohr as Madison County Public Schools Teacher of the Year for the 2025-26 academic year. Karen is a school counselor at Madison Primary School and has served our county in that position for the last 26 years. Karen works tirelessly to advance and support the programs of study at our school, as well as our school's general operations, many examples of which I shared in January when she was recognized as Teacher of the Month. Rather than repeating those details, resting assured that her work ethic and expertise are unrivaled, I want to highlight tonight her character. Karen absolutely personifies the kindness, caring, and dedication that we wish not only to emulate as educators, but to instill in our children as well. When I think of Karen, it conjures up thoughts of rainbows and flowers, a few birds singing in the background, which I am sure is very familiar to many of us here, because this is simply an aura that she carries with her. I'm not suggesting that Karen thinks everything is rainbows and flowers, but I am saying that her intelligence and empathetic nature allow her to spread a special kind of sunshine into the lives of others. I see this every day when I watch her interact with our school community, when she calms an emotional kindergarten student whose life cannot continue because the cafeteria ran out of Cocoa Puffs, when she helps and supports colleagues through difficult times, when she connects families with community organizations to ensure that basic needs are met. And yes, school administrators benefit from her sunshine as well. Karen's contributions to our school and community are what brought her this honor. But make no mistake, the real winner here tonight is Madison County. We don't have a better friend than Karen Organ-Lohr. In closing, since I can't finish without a reference to 80s hair bands, thank you for teaching us to walk this way and for your sincerity when you tell us I'll be there for you. Stephen and John would be proud. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor, and thank you for being you.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And now we would love to be able to recognize our wonderful representative from our student body, which Tally Coach is not here. She is off doing amazing things in sports, but she's been a tremendous, tremendous addition this year and has been a light every time she's been here. Would anybody else like to say anything about her?
I will. Yeah, I was kind of bummed out, but I know she's, preventing soccer balls from going in our goal, so I like that too. I've gotten, I wouldn't say I've gotten to know her very well, but I just thought one of the coolest things is that she was the kicker of our football team, and I'm glad that my son was able to play alongside of her and do something pretty remarkable because that doesn't happen in a lot of places, and I think that's one of the things that makes us special. And it wasn't just to have a girl on a football team. She can kick a football. So it was awesome. She was the right one for the job. So I just want to thank her for stepping up and doing something that might not have been comfortable, because that really speaks to her character. And the time that I have gotten to know her, I can tell she's a remarkable young lady. So I know she's going to do great things.
Okay, moving along. The FCCLA State Conference presentation, which I know we have been excited to hear about since we approved it. Cannot wait to hear from you guys.
Well, I don't- Okay.
Thank you for your patience. Technical difficulties.
Thank you. All right, good evening. I'm Miss Daniel at Wetzel, and I have one student with me. The others were on the soccer field and busy as well. So we want to share with you about our conference at Virginia Beach, and that was the beginning of April. We felt like it was a really successful weekend, and so just want to share some of those things with you. Next slide. So to prepare, the students started working in January on their projects. They're called STAR events. Although 3 out of the 4 students were also involved in FBLA, which was the first weekend of March. So they were pretty busy with that. By the time we got our registration in, some of the categories were full. So one group had to completely change their project because of that. So it meant that we had some definitely last minute things happening because of those delays. Next slide. Traveled down, we had to get packed and prepared. Students had a computer that they took with them for their presentation, all of their presentation materials, note cards, so they were ready for that. We prepared a banner for walking across the stage to display Wetzel. They had a banner parade. And then they also had a clipping thing where students recognized each other by clipping each other with a clothespin. So that was fun. We painted those and made them cute. So then the drive down, it actually ended up being very long. There was a lot of traffic, a lot of construction, but we made it there safely, and that's the important part. So we went in a school van, 4 students, a chaperone, and myself. Next slide. So Thursday, we departed from the school, made sure we had everything, and stopped for dinner when we hit some of that traffic. And then we checked in and arrived at the hotel at 9:30. So Friday, students had to be up bright and early to do their presentations. So we had a group present about, both groups created businesses. One created a bakery for the entrepreneurship competition, and then the other group created a Italian restaurant, for hospitality, tourism, and recreation. So really strong areas that they were able to present how family and consumer science connected with those. Then the FCCLA Expo was after their STAR event day. And so that was just colleges and other vendors showing them opportunities. We got to get in a big rig from Virginia Tech. Students were doing like a push-up competition and like a boxing thing for the Army or the National Guard. But and then that night we had the opening session, and then students played a think fast trivia game. So that was their fun thing, besides just having a boring speaker. So that was cool. Go ahead.
On Saturday, we had a business meeting. Where I, as the president of FCCLA for our chapter, voted on the new state officer. And then we later went to the aquarium, and we got to see a bunch of the cool, like, marine life. We later went to Chick-fil-A. We had a banquet, and then we went to this really nice gala. And everyone got a chance to dress up, and they had meals set out. They had nice desserts, and it was a very fun time for everyone to, dress up, have fun, nice relaxing time after going out and having to present. Next slide, please. On Sunday, we had the award ceremony where everyone got their awards, and, got to see where we placed, and it was very fun. And on the drive home, we all got to play a bunch of games, talk to each other, listen to our music, and it was a very fun experience for all of us. And yeah, next slide, please. Now for nationals, we chose not to go to nationals, and if we attended, we could have competed in different skill events such as impromptu speaking and taken challenge tests like we received awards from the fall. Next slide, please. Recognition. The fall challenge test, there was national award certificates received. And then for our entrepreneurship team, Reva McLeod and Malia Richard received a bronze medal, and hospitality, tourism, and recreation team, Salwa Rain Jamil and I, Olivia Perry, received a silver medal. And these are some pictures of us at the STAR event, showing our awards, and just some pictures of all of us having a fun time. And that's it.
I just want to say, as, again, also the parent volunteer that went with you on the FBLA trip too, like what you're able to do with a small handful of kids at these competitions is really, like, I mean, you've got great kids. Like, let's just be real. We've got great kids in Madison County. You've got good things to work with. But what you're able to do with them on this level of competition is really nothing short of amazing. And thank you for everything that you're doing for them.
Thank you. And we appreciate it too when the state level advisors recognize that.
It looks like it was a fun time. I remember when I was in FBLA and going to competitions like this, and it just helped me remember some of those really fun times with friends. Congratulations. You guys did awesome, it sounds like.
All right, I do have one question. Which one was the one that had to change at the last minute? Was it in Reva's? And still won the bronze medal. Just wanted to throw that out there. Like, okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you. All right, our next recognition is going to be the Wetzel Middle School Smithsonian's Democracy and Dialogue Virtual Exchange Program.
Good evening. My name's Patrick Jennings. I'm a math teacher at Wetzel Middle School, and I'm also one of the co-instructors of our Wind Time Enrichment Program, which we call Mad Minds. This is my co-teacher, Liz Ford, and this is one of our students in the program, Skylar Smith. So the Democracy and Dialogue Virtual Exchange Program is an initiative undertaken by the Smithsonian under the Undersecretary of Education. And we applied for it last summer and fall and were accepted into the program. And I was able to attend their sort of cohort planning summit in Washington, D.C. In January to go through some of the training. And then Ms. Ford and I implemented the program in our 8th grade Mad Minds class this spring. We actually got accepted to run the program again this fall. But essentially, it is a virtual exchange program, and we are paired with a school in Coconut Grove, right outside of Miami, Florida. And we participated in a variety of synchronous and asynchronous activities throughout the semester. And then there was also a culminating project that they've been working on throughout the whole semester, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But Ms. Ford's going to talk about some of the stuff we did with the exchange with our friends in Miami.
So first, we're looking for funding to go to Miami. Just kidding. Pipe dreams, right? But it was great. So the first interaction we had with our counterpart in Miami is that we decided to exchange digital postcards. We gave the students creative liberty as to what images they wanted to capture, what maybe spoke volumes about their life and what they held important. And then they also had a written component that went with it to kind of introduce and give a little backstory. That's what you see in that bottom left there with the collage and some writing. We didn't intend for you to be able to, see that detail. Now, when we received those digital postcards from Miami, we tasked the students with looking through those after reading, an individual one and looking through the entirety of them to see if there were any common threads among the students in Miami, right? Because at first it's like, holy smokes, they're in Miami, that city. An iguana? Like, just all these things that seem so vastly different. And then we're like, all right, so dig a little deeper. What do they have in common amongst themselves? And they're like, oh, that's wildlife for them. They do a lot of sports and just looking at those themes. And then we took it one step further back and said, all right, what do we have in common with them, right? So at first glance, these images appear to be quite drastically different, right? Beach, palm trees, mountains, tiny Madison, city life in Miami. But what we came to the conclusion, or the students came to the conclusion, that was like, whoa, we're pretty similar. Like, we're all looking at the same sunset. We've got wildlife. We're into sports. We got a downtown. So it was really cool to see those common threads and be, saying, wow, even though we're so vastly different in very different areas, we have such a common bond. We're teenagers just living our best lives, hopefully right now. And this is going to be a fun experience to do this exchange. So that's what these images, they're kind of tied together to show you how they paired them.
I think that's it for that. If you want to go to the next slide, please. So these are some images that capture some of our exchanges with our friends in Miami throughout the semester. So one of the things that we had wanted to do right off the bat was surprise them with the care package of some things that represented our life here in Madison County. I had heard from some other teachers at the cohort in Washington, D.C. that they had planned to do that together. And so we kind of worked behind the scenes to surprise Ms. Fisher and her students with this. So we talked to the students and came up with a variety of things that sort of represented life in Madison that could be unique for us. So we had Mr. Tryon had donated some Madison athletic swag. We went to Yoder's. We went to Graves Mountain and found some things. We had one student. So in the upper left-hand corner, you can see the students from Miami opening up. We had sent some deer antlers. And when we had one of the images down at the bottom was from our Zoom exchange with them. And we had tried to use the thinking routine See, Think, Wonder, Connect with our students throughout the whole semester. So that is what we did when they opened up the care package. And I think one of their students just came to the mic on the Zoom and just said, all right, the antlers, I got to ask, what, why, how? Like, where did you get them from? Are they real? And we had one of our students come up and explain that the whole backstory of where they got them from. So just seeing like those kinds of stories and being able to share them with those students was really awesome. And then one of the other exchanges that we participated in, we received a care package from them almost minutes before we went into our Zoom session with them. So we waited right till that moment, opened it up from them, and they sent us a bunch of things that were meaningful to their community. They had sent us some local food, a Cuban soda that is now being bottled and sold in Miami, So the picture in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see our students have a little cup of the Cuban soda, and I think, were those the plantain chips? I was going to say, yes, good, bad? Yeah. The soda had some mixed reviews, I can say that. But we were able to participate in a variety of Zoom sessions with them, sharing the digital postcards. We got to see a virtual tour of their school, which is one of the things that they had shared with us, which was just fascinating for our kids to see just kind of where their school is. That football field image you saw in the first, if you zoomed out, it's literally right on, I think, Biscayne Bay in Miami. I think a bunch of them were asking for, how do we transfer? You know, how do we get down there? They had food trucks outside their cafeteria. But then, like Ms. Ford was saying, we also got to share about what spring is like as an 8th grader in Madison. Clubs and sports and activities and band concerts and art clubs and field trips and all that kind of stuff. And we got to hear the same thing from them. And then leading into our last part, which was our culminating project. The overall theme for DIDV for this cohort was, what role did your community help play in the shaping of America's 250 years? So what we tried to undertake was, what people and stories and places in our community matter and should be told. And so we just kind of operated under the idea of, if you opened up a coffee table style book in 50 years about Madison County, whose stories should we tell? What places and people should we tell about? So Ms. Ford will talk about some of those projects in a second, but those are just some images that capture some of the work our students were doing. There's one of our students down there in the lower left-hand corner. He got to interview Ms. Catherine Johnson and Mr. McLaren. His project had to do with our gyms and sports fields and who they're named after and why, and how many people show up to these games and these events and see that name and have maybe no idea who that person is, or folks that might go and say, hey, that was my coach, that was my teacher, that sort of thing. So he got to sit down with the two of them. And then the envelope there, we had 2 students reach out to the Madison Historical Society, just looking for more information on, the fire? The Madison fire, 1919. And they reached out on their own. They made phone calls, emails, that sort of thing. And that was just some of the information that they had put aside for our students. So Ms. Ford is going to talk a little bit about the projects, and then one of our students is going to tell you about hers.
And just a quick tie-in with the Historical Society in Madison, we actually had the opportunity to tie in this whole program with one of our BRVGS students, JC Howell, because she was digging into the history of Madison County, and she said, hey, my project is I want to teach the youth of Madison more about it. Do you have an opportunity? And we're like, absolutely, come see our 8th graders. So she designed an entire trip to the Kriglersville Mountain Museum, the Historical Society. We ate lunch at Graves, and Lucky came and gave some background information that they just see Graves as the pool, you know, how we do. So that was a really cool connection for us to actually even go beyond, you know, Smithsonian. We tied in with JC, and she was phenomenal with that. So you want the next, next slide, please. So some of the projects, we actually, after touring those museums, we just tasked the students with coming up with a couple different ideas that they would like to dig into a little bit further. Just full rein, because you want them to be highly engaged in something that they're going to be completely invested in, because they're going to have to do some digging and some getting out of their comfort zone, because that's where growth happens. So we have folks, just some of the testimonials here. We have folks digging into the history of their family farm with Cedar Springs Dairy Farm. That's Jeremiah Lamb. He has learned a ton just through this process, learning how to navigate GIS and looking at maps and all kinds of things like that. We've had folks, again, look at the history of Graves. I'm drawing the fire of 1919, the flood of 1995. And I was like, that's not history, that just happened, you know. So it's just been really, really neat to see them kind of come alive with some things. And one is looking at the history of schools, how they've gone from the one-room schoolhouse to now having this, you know, central area. And that's been pretty neat, just to see them reach out beyond the school walls. So I'm really excited for Skylar here to share her experience. Oh, okay.
Sorry. So we try to invite a handful of our students here to come out and talk, but like some of y'all have mentioned, they're out playing soccer, playing softball, playing baseball. But one of the groups, the first one that is listed up there, was Lachlan Dotson and Mercedes Bailey. And they had wanted to reach out and learn more about all the different small businesses that are in Madison County and unique to Madison County. So they're, I mean, obviously not going to, McDonald's or 7-Eleven, that kind of thing. And they jumped right into it on their own. They made their own list of who they wanted to talk to, who they wanted to reach out to. They generated emails and went and found them and reached out to all those small business owners. And without any prompting from us, I think they maybe waited a week. They didn't hear back through any emails, and they said, hey, so they haven't answered us. Are we allowed to call them? And they generated a list of phone numbers. They went into Ms. Ford's office, made phone calls during class, reached out to try to get more information from them. They had found that I think the owner, I think, of Yoder's is on a mission trip in Kenya and was able either to have a conversation with him or in the process of working that. But seeing them coming back so excited from that day of, so we reached out to this person, we called this person, we left a message with them, and they made plans over spring break to get out in the community and talk to these people, just almost completely on their own. So that was the testimonial that Lachlan and Mercedes had written, just about making connections and getting out in the community and doing that research. And then I meant to add earlier about Yoder's because that was part of their project too. The Miami students were absolutely fascinated by Yoder's. Other than the deer antlers, that was every question they had. And one of our students told them, it's a petting zoo with ice cream. And I said, for people that are from Miami and are confused by that, I don't think you helped clarify their confusion. But we do have Skylar Smith here who, her and her partner Reva have been working tremendously on their project throughout the semester, and she's going to tell you a little bit about it.
Hi everyone, my name is Skylar, and my project was focused on Black history in Madison County. Obviously, Madison County has a small Black population, so I figured I would try to find some representation for us and take it into my own hands, and my partner's hands, of course, to dig into the past and see what I could find, and look for that into the future. That was the whole project, was to weave something in the past and what it looks like now. So my project focused on a couple individuals from the past, like the far past, like the near past, and like now. Those individuals were Noah Davis, Mary Blakey Jones, Nancy, and Dr. Misha Jones, which some of you guys might know. So a big part of my project was an interview I had with Nancy and Dr. Misha. And in that interview, we talked about their own experiences, and I learned so much from them. Nancy, she was one of the first Black people to integrate into a white school in Madison. Her and her two, I think it was her brother and her cousin, I think. Me, Nancy, Reva, Misha, and Miss Ford sat there for an hour and talked to them, and we gave our experiences and their experiences, and it was such a great thing to hear from them, and it truly impacted me so much. I didn't even think that Madison integrated school. Well, I knew that, but obviously, but I never took a minute to stop and think about that before. But now it really opened my eyes to things that I didn't know before the project. And Mary Blakey Jones, she was her family was from the Shenandoah of Madison, I think, the Shenandoah Valley, and of course they got kicked out. And we were going to try to talk with Mary, but time is running short on the project right now. So if we can, we will. But we want to talk to her about her experiences with that. But we did get information on her from Nancy. She knows so much. Like Misha said, she's a walking encyclopedia. She'll tell you everything. And it was truly life-changing to hear that from them. But yeah. Thank you. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh.
I mean, we can open it up to if you had any questions or clarifications.
I would encourage you, that number one, you sound like a fascinating young lady. That you're in 8th grade, is that right?
Yes.
That's impressive. You speak very well.
Thank you.
But I would encourage you, if time ran short, speaking with those ladies, I would encourage you to find time and go and talk to them and just listen. That's one thing I regret sometimes with older generation people, I'll say it that way, because they have a lot to tell and their stories are really good. And if we don't stop to listen to some of that sometimes, they just have a lot to offer. And it sounds like those ladies are pretty spectacular, so I would encourage you to go back and just listen more. It sounds super interesting. I would like to learn more.
Yeah, of course. I'm actually going to meet with Mary and Nancy, I think, again, twice. We're going to meet at Woodbury Forest for this event, which I'm pretty sure is, sorry, I looked back at my dad, because my dad's going too. But I'm pretty sure it's like they found, slave, grave, the tombstones of slaves somewhere in Woodbury. And they invited me to go to that with them on May 17th, I'm pretty sure. And I'm also going to go with them to the Lodge Hall, which I forgot to mention. Dr. Jones is the president of the Madison County African American Historical Association. So their building is the Lodge Hall, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with them sometime this week, either Wednesday or Thursday, but hopefully I can learn more and share more about their project with them.
That's awesome. You got a spectacular daughter up here.
That wave said we know.
Oh, and just real quick, this is super cool. And just so everybody knows, we couldn't have two better people leading this. I know these people from personal experience, and they're awesome.
Thank you very much. All right. And now into part F.
Which one is that?
With Mr. Bear Davidson from Eastwood Stockwell.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this.
Eastwind Stocko, excuse me.
Can you guys hear me okay? All right, good. Yeah, I've lived here in Madison for about 5 years, and about 3 years ago, I was at a national Wild Turkey Federation event here in Orange, and it was a huge event. And in fact, everybody was talking about this one guy that was kind of the center of it, that had planned it all out, and just all the fundraising that was associated with it. And I come to find out this gentleman named Bear Davidson, and I had no relation to him. My last name is Davidson. I think he may be one of the only other Davidsons in the county. But when I first got on the school board, I reached out to Bear because I wanted to get his perspective on fundraising. And little did I know, he was very interested in himself and being a part of something here in Madison. And he donated $10,000 to our school system to do a rendering of the field house. And this particular field house is going to, this check here that you have given us is going to serve as a catalyst, I'm sure. And it's going to have a big impact, hopefully, eventually, on our students and their success and the opportunity they're going to have. And I just want to thank you in public. Bear is now on the national board for the Wildlife Federation. He's a local realtor and just a really, really impressive person. And this isn't the last we're going to see of you, I'm sure. I've really enjoyed getting to know you over the past several weeks, and want to thank you. And if I was going to see if I could get the superintendent and maybe Greg, if you can come up and get a photo op. And I don't photograph well.
Yes, you do.
We'll,
Beautiful.
shot and take this picture here.
You want to go behind so we're not all
Yeah.
behind you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have the black. I crashed. Sorry.
Teamwork. Teamwork.
You gotta have fun, right?
When I saw you scooting, I was like, hey. All right, let's see if I can make sure I can read. Okay, we move on to section 9 with public comments. And again, please state your name, where you live, and you have 3 minutes. And make sure, congratulations, criticisms or comments, and no personal attacks. Otherwise, we look forward to hearing from you.
Good evening. I'm Russell Biber from Brightwood and pastor of Oak Park Road Baptist Church here in Madison. The Bible tells us that the Lord already knows what we have need of before we ask. And on the way here this evening, I was just praying to the Lord. Lord, there's so many projects that the school system needs, and they just don't have the funding for it. Please provide a way. And little did I know, Mr. Davidson, that he had already answered that prayer before I asked. And I'm so grateful for that. And as you say, it's the catalyst. It's the seed. And we'll just continue to pray that it grows. It's hard to believe it's already the end of the 25-26 school year. And it's coming to a close. I have not heard of any serious catastrophes that have taken place during the school year, and for that, are you knocking on wood? But thankfully, the Lord has kept us safe, and we can only give credit to Him. But a reminder tonight that Proverbs 1 and Proverbs 9 tells us that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, and the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And our young people need both. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is actually a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. To me, that was the simplest explanation of the difference between the two. And we need it to continue. Thank you, school board, for what you've done. Thank you, administrators, for what you've done. And I just want to have a quick word of prayer for y'all. Father, again, how we thank you for a good school year. Thank you for the improvements in the scores. But Father, I pray that our young people would be taught to live properly, to live right. Father, I pray that they would have a respect, a regard for you. I pray, Father, that you would watch over them during the summer, keep them all safe, bring them back to us. I pray for the graduating seniors that you would lead them, guide them, and that you would help them along the way. I do pray for the principals, the teachers, the staff. Bless them. Use them. Amen.
Good afternoon. My name is Lily Breeden. I'm serving as the 2026-2027 Madison County FFA Treasurer, and I am a student. I'm in my sophomore year, going into my junior year. So I'm here to actually speak about the Madison County FFA program and the need to extend it into the middle school level. So since 2022, Ms. Kaufman began the program. She began rebuilding it. We had a brief pause. She started with 0 students in 2022, and then in 2023, we grew to 30 active members. In 2024, the number increased to 70 students with a full-time second teacher, Mr. Barry. In 2025, we reached 126 members with 100% membership participation. Although we've had continuous growth, we are still behind other counties. To compare FFA to something similar, think about how sports teams at MCHS without a JV or middle school development programs. How would those athletes realistically be prepared to compete for a state title in 4 years if they only begin training at the varsity level. Without early development, skill progression, and competitive readiness, we are significantly limited to the supplies that we have with students. Agriculture education works the same way. Without middle school exposure, students are entering high school FFA with less experience, less confidence, and less time to develop advanced skills needed for high school level competition. For the past 4 years, there have been discussion about adding a middle school agricultural teacher. The estimated full-time position would be around $54,000, plus additional cost for classroom, space, shop, and equipment. However, there is a more cost-effective solution. Instead of hiring a new teacher, the high school agriculture teachers could each teach one block of middle school students as a part of fourth block pay. This would cost approximately $7,000 to $9,000 per teacher, totaling at $14,000 to $16,000 district-wide. This option uses current staff, existing classroom, and reduces the need for new facilities or major construction. This solution is a strategic investment. We already have this space available, and while some equipment may need updates over time, we can get that from sponsorship money, or we can find money, I'm sure. I'm sure people would be willing to help us. I do have more people coming to talk, but they're not on this time. But thank you, guys.
Good evening. My name is Bridget Wolf. I'm from Madison County, Virginia, and I'm serving this year's Vice President. To better understand student interest, we conducted a survey of 276 middle school students. From our survey, 276 middle school students, we found clear interest in agriculture and related career pathways. When asked if they knew what FFA is, 53.6% said no. 46.4% said yes. When asked if they know what agriculture is, 83% said yes, and 17% said no. We also asked about interest in FFA competitions. There's a 50% interest in welding, a 34% in floriculture, a 31% in livestock judging, a 26.9 in ag mechanics, 25.1 in horse valuation, 23.3 in forestry field day, 17.6 in food science, and a 15.9 in public speaking. Students also identified agriculture topics they are interested in. Animal systems had 63.6%, welding had a 45.2%, woodshop 41.2%, mechanics at 34.4%, agriculture at 29.2%, business at 28%, and greenhouse at 24%. Career interest included welding at 30.5%, farmer at 23.9%, veterinarian at 22.4%, engineer at 22.1%, chef at 19.9%, and construction at 19.1%. We also saw interest in additional careers such as electrician work, carpentry, and marine biology. Finally, when asked if the middle school should have an agriculture class and FFA chapter, 50.4% of students said yes, 36.9% said maybe, mainly because they don't know what it is, and only 12.8% said no. These results clearly show strong student support for expanding agriculture education, interest in agriculture careers, and interest in a student-led agriculture club. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Joshua Sarver. I'm this year's president. Beyond student interest, agriculture education connects directly to our local community and economy. There are 39 schools in Central Virginia with middle school agricultural programs. These programs have been shown to improve hands-on learning, boost academic performance, increase STEM engagement, and build sustainability awareness. Agricultural education also connects students to real careers in our community. Some of the top businesses in Madison County include Plow and Hearth, Madison Wood Preservers, Yoder's, Cardinal Home Center, Madison Motors, Piedmont Deli, Bald Top Brewing, and Early Mountain Vineyards. All of these businesses are impacted by agriculture every day or are directly related to the agriculture industry. In order to better support the community, we need a program that builds a foundation early to prepare students for careers in our area. Expanding agriculture education into middle school would introduce students to early career pathways, strengthen high school FFA participation, build workforce readiness, and better connect students to local industry needs. In conclusion, we believe that Madison FFA is rapidly growing. A middle school student strongly show interest in agriculture, and our community already supports agriculture education pathways. Middle school agriculture program through fourth block teacher instruction is the most cost-effective and impactful solution. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Good evening. I'm Mason Falk with our 26-27 FFA from Porter Fort. And I'm coming on a separate thing about our greenhouse. So our greenhouse is a big moneymaker, I guess you say, for us. And also it's a big teaching, learning example. It teaches our students of how to grow plants, teach them everything, all the way from business until, I guess, the horticulture of it. But it's become a concern to us over the last couple years, and I'm in my second year of horticulture now, and this is my second year doing it, this class. And as time's gone on, we've had a propane leak from our heater that has gotten worse and worse and worse. And it's gotten to the point now of where we have several students that are scared to be in the greenhouse. And also, we've had 2 in one day go to the nurse over this, and one's had to go home of headaches and other problems from this. And it has gotten so overbearing that some of our students have had to step out and just say they can't do it. They just can't take it anymore. Because we have to be in there sometimes the whole extended period of our class, hour and a half, and sometimes more, cut into other class time. And it's become a concern, and we have tried to reach out to our staff and principals and maintenance, and time and time again, we wound up in the same position of nothing happening. And we're getting to the point where we're more worried about our students, and we are just hoping that y'all could do something to get us where we need to be.
Hey, how's it going? Brittany Schenkel from the Haywood area of Madison. It's good to see you guys. I didn't write anything, so I'm not reading this week. First off, I want to say congratulations to the students who presented tonight because they did a fabulous job. Public speaking is obviously incredibly important in Madison County, Virginia. Hello, what's my topic tonight? So, if you build it, they will come. We're talking about all the infrastructure problems and programs that we need to build in Madison County. We've got the sports programs, we've got FFA, we've got FCCLA, we've got all sorts of things our students need in order to better their education and prepare them for the world. We need performing arts. We need them. Unfortunately, well, I was very excited to hear from my high school students that there was a class that was potentially going to be taught next year. Unfortunately, it was canceled because they were not able to fill the class to the capacity that they needed. And I want to speak up on that. We cannot expect students to step in and do our job of creating the program. And that's what you guys asked my daughter to do at the beginning of the school year. And she has worked her hardest to do that while also maintaining her grades, taking high-level classes, and doing all the things that she's doing on the side as a 16-year-old. We as adults need to be the ones who step in and do that work and build the program for them. And so because of that, my friend Jim and I and all the wonderful other people in the community who work with the Mini Mountaineers and other programs, we are working together to try and build the program that Madison County High School really needs to have in our community. I would like to invite anybody who is interested to come to an interest meeting for community theater next Monday night at 6:30 at the, what do we call the Board of Supervisors Auditorium? Okay, wasn't sure if it had a formal name, but that building over there. And we are going to be looking at how can we create this community theater program for not just the adults in the world out here who want to get up on stage and act like crazy people, but also our students, our young people, and to provide that education that is needed in our community, and to support the schools so that we can rebuild this program. I have other things to speak on, but unfortunately, that's the way it works. I hope that anybody who is interested can join us and really kind of help rebuild the performing arts program in Madison County. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Charlotte Curlin. I'm also from the Haywood area, as that is my mother. I didn't really have too much specific to talk on. I just mostly wanted to support her talking points. As she said, I really did want to start a theater club. I loved your idea. I just didn't have a way to execute it and was incredibly busy with all the stuff that I was doing. So that's the way it goes. Also, one of the things that she was telling me she wanted to talk about is just the state of our school. I don't know how you wanted to put it. I'm hopefully going to be a future teacher. Well, not hopefully, I'm actively in the FEA program. So that's going to be great. However, I have noticed like some issues with the schools, and one of the reasons that I've been debating whether or not to do it is just capacity, teachers staying, the classroom capacity. My Grammy did want to come and talk on some things, so she has a lot more experience than I do, but she didn't end up making it. I don't know specifics as I've not been in a classroom yet, but I've heard a lot of things that it's just rough on. Like I said, I would love to give more specifics. I was not prepared. They know a lot more than I do, and she didn't get to talk about that. But I was also wanted to say thank you very much. I've had a great school year. I'm really enjoying finally having some time to rest after all the exams and stuff. And I am actually really excited to become a teacher and hope actually will work here because FEA, I will work here for 2 years. Very excited. Thank you very much for the amazing school year, and thank you for being our school board.
Anyone else? Thank you so much for all the input and information, without a doubt. And so we will move on to board comments. Would any of our board members like to make any comments?
Yeah, I'll make a quick comment to the FFA. You guys did a phenomenal job. That's how you get stuff done. You come with numbers, you come with specifics, you come with details, you make a compelling case. I really appreciate you all doing that. It was well delivered. My recommendation is to put this in a one-page executive summary of some sort, if you guys have the time. And that way we can see it and feel it and look at it and refer to it and reference it as we continue to work through our budget. And this year and next year, and even our strategic initiatives funds. This is a shining spot here in Madison. You guys are leading the way. You're not just talking about it, you're doing something about it, and you're actually putting specific numbers and putting data behind it. And that is really, really good. That's how you get things done in the real world. And I'm really happy for that. We have reached out, working on a partnership with for ag education with JMU and BSU, and I've asked Secretary Frazier to come visit Madison County because of the work that you guys are doing. Just to come visit for a quick hello and to recognize and see what all the hard work you're doing. And I hope that comes through fruition. Obviously, it's not going to happen this year, this academic year, but maybe next academic year. The point about the greenhouse, I think that's a hard thing to stand up and talk about. but you brought something up and you took a safety angle on it, and that's also how you get things done, taking a safety angle. I understand that heater issue you're talking about, and I know about what that costs anyway, but I think that the work that you guys are doing is phenomenal. So I want to make a comment to that because this is the way you get things done. I'm a huge advocate right now of student programs. We need force structure, we need teacher pay, but we need student programs too, and they need to be resourced. And we can only do so many things. It's a hard balance. But, you know, when we're trying to figure out how to spend money and how to use our money wisely and how to get the biggest bang for the buck, we need information. And that's what you guys provided today, so I appreciate that.
I also want to add, I don't know how Mr. Davidson did that, but following you guys, like with all of your speaks, that had to be really hard. Like y'all did a banging job of coming up here. I don't like the public speaking. I know you're surprised, but I just kind of wanted to add, again, another motion of gratitude for you guys who came up. Again, I'm with Mr. Davidson. The numbers do make a huge difference. I also kind of want to go back in our agenda for 13 seconds and just re-congratulate Ms. Organ-Lore and Ms. Householder for those, you know, and thank Tylee, of course, but like, honestly, like every presentation that we've had tonight, like every single person that has come up to this podium has just been amazing. And I'm so grateful that you guys are all a part of our Madison County family, and just wanted to take my time to say that. Like, I know you guys have already written the speech, so just kind of tweak it, limit it, and then shoot it over, and that's really all you need to do. You did a great job. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
So I'll ride y'all's coattails, ditto what they said, but I think the most important thing here, other than the data, which is, Mr. Davidson's exactly right, you're not doing this for yourself. You're doing this for kids that are younger than you. That's pretty impressive. That you're thinking of others, young kids younger than you. That's pretty awesome. And you guys need to be commended for that. Just a side note to Miss Breeden did email me. And it was a very articulate, well thought out plan. And I asked her to, actually I ran it by Ms. Graham, Dr. Graham. How the best way to do that would be, because it needed to be done. So she did put in all that work along with all of them, I'm sure. So, but yeah, that's crazy. In Charlotte, Mr. Jewett was right. When we had our day in the life of a student, he said, Charlotte, you're everywhere. And she is everywhere. And thank you for speaking up, because all you guys, it's not easy. It's not easy. And Charlotte, you're bringing it up for other people too, and that's impressive. This isn't just about you guys. This affects other people, and that's what it's all about. I mean, I don't know. It's getting me a little teary-eyed, to be honest with you. You guys are awesome.
And part of board comments, again, thank you so much for all the information. The data is overly compelling. The propane leak is overly concerning. I'm going to make that I'm amazed we've not heard that before or yet. Thank you for bringing that to the board's attention, because that safety issue is tremendous. We deeply apologize for any oversight. That will be something that is looked at immediately, absolutely immediately. Thank you very much for bringing it to our attention. And other than that, yes, we do have now Dr. You can hate me all you want right now. It's okay. Dr. Anagram has completed her degree, although she does not want people to necessarily be recognizing her as that, but we're going to take a moment just to make sure we say that. And other than that, any of the board comments? Ready to move forward? All right, we go to business information, which we've discussed previously, which is the board members will be discussing the allowing of Madison County Public School students to attend regular season games for free beginning with the 26-27 school year. where are we at with that so far for you guys?
I'm down.
Okay, yeah, we don't, the fact is we don't have historical data to specifically tell us the impact, the financial impact of this. But we all feel like it's, from what I can tell, that it's principally a good thing to do. And it actually could result into higher revenue at games. I say we move forward with this. If we have to make a decision on down the road because we see some type of financial impact that's not healthy, then maybe we can address that then. But now, principally, it seems like a very good move forward. And I support it, and I hope the rest of the board can do that as well.
Well, I will chime in earlier than normal on this one. I firmly am in support of doing that. I think having a healthy student body, and it was evident that this year having so many students that got T-Mobile to have us in, what was it, the final, we were the top 25, top 50? Top 25, correct? So for region, we were like rolling.
We were top.
But every time, when I came to a football game, I was amazed at how many students were in the student section versus the rest of the fan areas. And same thing for basketball. It was absolutely mind-boggling because I don't think even when we were 11-0 my senior year, we didn't have that many people like in the student section when I was growing up. But as far as how we're going to create the revenue off of that, I think that's where, now that we have a new activities director that will be coming in, that was approved to be presented, that's going to be part of their job. And having the right person in that environment, that they're going to find a way to like bring students in, bring families in with those students, and potentially having the right kind of like swag shops and booster gear and pieces that are there, that can create a great environment that helps bring revenue to our athletic departments and draws our community together through all other areas. And even for like our wonderful band performances, helps bring people in for that, forensics, because that being promoted and advertised and put in can fill up seats very quickly. In as pristine condition as these have been looking for years, obviously they need a little bit more wear and tear put onto them. Just my personal take. So I would be up for that.
Yeah, I agree. As we've discussed in the past, I think this is a no-brainer. Obviously, one of the concerns was just that we didn't want to impact revenue, which obviously makes sense. But we also think that obviously letting kids in for free, and I didn't realize it, that it was just high school. It was just high school kids or it is just high school kids right now. I did not know that. I thought it was all students already. But I think, yeah, it's a no-brainer. I just want to reiterate, though, that, and this is already a policy or a rule, that, I mean, any student needs to be escorted by an adult. That needs to be made clear, too. Because we want it to be safe for everybody that's attending, and that goes without saying. But yeah, I think it's a great move. I'm kind of sad that we weren't already doing it, and like Mr. Davidson said, I think if it becomes some sort of like a financial roadblock, I think we can reevaluate it at the time. But I think this is something we should have done a while ago.
The only thing, and I don't know, Anna, if this is like an AD thing or if this is a committee thing, just some way of delineating our kids from other counties' kids and things like that. I think you just get like a little card or, yeah, I mean, that's all I was thinking is as long as we can do that and, works for me.
Do all students get that card? Because I know high school.
So high schoolers use their IDs. No, to the best of my knowledge, I know at one point, I think like 1 year, like 7 years ago, the middle school got IDs, but I don't think they've gotten them since then. But
how they just use the yearbook photos when they get their. Okay, I mean, it's obviously going to be some sort of expense, but.
They do the same thing. It's very quick.
Okay. Okay. All right. I mean, I think that I didn't think about that. It makes total sense. We should have all students should be able to, identify that they're a Madison County student.
Yeah. If it turned out to be an expense, we could even make our own laminated cards that go.
And that's just get like a little punch card, or I mean, we can print them.
Okay, I'll make a motion to move to the previous question.
I'll second.
I don't think this is a motion.
No.
This is just a discuss.
Approval.
Yeah.
We just moved to business approval.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Moving on. And now we go to business approval, where we're going to talk about our draft AI policy. And the recommended is that we approve the AI policy. And before we do that, I'd like to thank Mr. Dickey and his wonderful committee for doing exceptional work. I think it is an extremely flexible document. It gives us some leeway to grow. You guys did a phenomenal job. Thank you.
Absolutely, but I have to say, like, even though I was part of the committee, the majority of the work was handled by Mr. Dodson and other committee members too, who I have here, which I'm going to name them because I texted Mr. Dodson earlier today and asked for their names so they could be recognized. And that was Ms. Kim Adams, Carrie Sacra, Sharon Johnson, Angela Lamb, Cheryl Paramore, Alan Berry, and Joe Kabricki. So they were all part of it, and they deserve recognition as well. And this is going to be, as we stated before, it's going to be like an organic. Well, it's going to evolve. It's going to evolve. So now that I'm going to propose that we vote on this, and then after that, if it's approved, that's when the work for the guidelines, which will be the foundation of how this works. The policy itself is just guardrails for the guidelines. So, like I said, Mr. Dotson did the majority of this work, and he did a very good job. We used resources from other school districts to put this together, as well as things that fit us too. So, with that said, I'll make a motion to approve this. Do I need to read it
No.
formally?
No.
Or?
No. Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And it shall pass. Okay, then we go to the school calendar, and the recommendation is to approve.
Motion to approve the 2026-27 school calendar.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second. 26, 27, 27, 28. Oh, yeah,
27,
that's
28, yeah.
my bad.
It's okay.
Reading is very tricky, my bad.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And so it moves on. And so now we move on to reports from our school board members and superintendent.
My teeth might chatter while I'm talking because it's freezing in here. Just wanted to say that we had our school board visits to all of the schools, and I really enjoyed my time. It was great to see students at work, teachers at work, the great work that's being done. Students had fantastic manners the entire time we were there. Really cool to hear about escape room projects with Miss Ford and the library and the FFA barn and all the good stuff that's going on. So thank you for allowing us to visit. I attended, I'll always say this wrong, baccalaureate. That was an impressive event to hear students. It's student-led, and for them to feel the calling to stand up and talk to their fellow students in the community. It was really a special event, so I really appreciated being able to attend that. The Senior of the Month banquet, again, just an impressive evening to hear about all the students who we've recognized throughout the year, and then to have them choose their teacher that they wanted to recognize. It was just really a nice emotional event, but we really appreciated it. Congrats again to staff person and teacher of the year, both Karens. Congratulations, very well deserved. Tylee, our school board representative, sorry she's not here to get all of these accolades, but she's a sweet girl. I've known her for a long time, and she's going to do great things going off to UVA. And thank you for the presentations from the FCCLA and the virtual exchange program, both very cool programs and good work being done. Thank you.
Yeah, I got stuff to say. I thought we were going down the line, though.
Yeah, I thought we were. I can go next if you'd like me to.
Well, Mr. Davidson, you got anything?
Nothing at the moment.
Wow. Okay.
Thanks, Mitch.
It threw me off, too.
how about this? I don't have anything either. Like, I do have a prep meeting on Wednesday, other than the fabulous things that we've attended, like the ball games and yeah, no, I've got nothing. Graduation's on Saturday. We're almost at the end of a new school year. Yay.
So I have a lot here just to recognize. I attended the senior awards banquet, just like all of us did here, and the retirees, and I've been to it before, because my wife was actually recognized by one of her students a few years ago, and it's something pretty cool. If you want to see how a person can make an impact on a kid, that's the place to go and do it right there. And I'll say it again, I know I posted about it, but did anybody else know that? I mean, we all did, but we had a person that worked and retired 54 years. Is that right, Miss Carpenter? Barbara Carpenter, 54 years. That's that's mind-blowing. And that's the kind of people that, make us what we are. So that really stood out. And the other ones as well. They're very obviously impactful to our school division. I attended a Blue Ridge Governor's School presentation down at Zion's Crossroads. Phenomenal to see our freshman Governor's School students. Selfishly, one of them is mine. Long story short, it's three different school divisions. Is that right? That make up our Governor's School, or is it how many? Six. Okay, so there's a bunch. Okay, there's a bunch. Our student, no disrespect to the other school districts, and I'm not saying this because it's our kids.
No,
Our kids stood out like unbelievably with their poise. I mean, obviously we get these. These kids weren't here, but these are a good example of what I saw. Like their poise, their preparedness. It was incredible, and it was recognizable that it was different from the others, and they need to be commended for that. And their teachers. Is it teacher? Ms. Johnston is one. Can't say enough about her, and actually sad that she's leaving us. Let's see, I'm sorry. There's just a lot of people that really need to be recognized. I went and saw the choir and band concert for the middle school. Again, phenomenal, and thank you for the investment of our teachers. It's really something to see first-year students and then who did fine, and then just to see the improvement as there's older students there too that have been through our program, and just again, our staff members are incredible in the investment they put in our kids, because we really, even though we're small, we're mighty. So we put on a good product. I also went to the high school band concert, which was pretty amazing as well. And the day in the I'm glad I just saw this because I almost forgot. But those Miami kids that you guys are talking about, I bet you they didn't ride in a wagon down to the new barn. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That was a whole. That was an awesome day. That was an awesome day. It was eye-opening. But yeah, I can guarantee you they didn't ride in the barn down or ride in a wagon down to the barn. That's what makes us unique and cool, and the amount of hard work that went into that day was awesome. And there was some things that I wish we could do better, and it wasn't the fault of any staff. It was just resources, and like one teacher said, like, we couldn't afford work, or we didn't have enough workbooks, and we reused ones from last year. And I hope people that went through noticed that and can see where we can make improvements, and that's no fault of anybody over here. Okay, that's just getting it done with funding. And that's really it. That was a fantastic day, and everybody that was involved in that thank you. So that's all I got.
Well, I got to have a great experience for the first time. Culpeper County High School hosted our special games for the region, and Madison County was in attendance, which, of course, I was getting a lot of heckling because I had my Madison County bucket hat on as I was working my station at my actual place of work. But it was such an awesome event, so well attended, and it was so cool to see so many kids interacting, having a great time, healthy competition, and having a wonderful day. It was an amazing event. Of course, seeing Drew and Jeanette and everybody that was out. It was Dr. Timmons was out there. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. And then just recently, Ann and I were at the Blue Ridge Governor's School meeting where we approved their budget for the upcoming year. They've got some special things going on where they're looking at adding in a leadership course, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. And we did throw Graham under the bus and say, hey, we might have a guy that you can use it as a resource for that. Not that he has enough on his plate, but it was a kind of also a way of kind of like letting Madison County shine a little bit, that we might be able to have an asset for them other than the people that meet with them once a quarter. And the Hall of Fame meeting there was a back-to-back meeting today. I did not get to go to that because obviously we were going to be here. But that list is being finalized out. The last meeting I attended by phone. But looks like some really good class coming in. Can't wait to see how that works out. That's yet to be decided and announced, but that will be coming up shortly. And other than that, thank you to the wonderful middle school staff. I will just say this because I don't know how y'all did it, but you got my son to pass an SOL. So I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job with that. I'm just saying it flat out. I'm sorry. I was astounded. It's a great job. He'll live. It's a great piece. I mean, he struggles with math, and hey, you got it done. Appreciate you. But other than that, I have nothing else to report. Dr. Graham.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah. We're still waiting on a budget, so we'll let you know as soon as the state finalizes the budget so we can move forward with ours. I did, when you hear something as concerning as a gas leak, you start texting right away for an update. So we have an update. The gas company has checked it several times. It was last checked last week to verify that there's no leak, but it's the exhaust that is smelling, which, can make you feel yucky. But Dr. Timmons said they are getting, I don't know what I'm saying on these words of what they do, but it's a new heater that's going to burn cleaner so that you won't be able to smell the exhaust anymore. So there's going to be a new heater put on the greenhouse. So
Keep us posted.
yeah, definitely. And those are my updates. No, thank you.
Okay. We have a motion to adjourn? Do
Motion to adjourn.
you have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.